In this lecture, we will see the k-means clustering algorithm. So it is the iterative clustering algorithm that aims to find the local maximum in each iteration. This algorithm works in 5 steps. So in first steps, we have to choose the number of desired clusters. So here we are choosing k is equals to 2. So cluster for showing the cluster, we are using the variable k. So k is equals to 2 for these 5 data points in the 2D space. So here in 2D space we are considering the 5 different data samples and 2 clusters we are showing, one with the red color and one with the gray color. So we are assigning 3 data points to one cluster and 2 data points to second cluster. Okay. Now next step we have to compute the cluster centroid. So the centroid of the data points in red cluster is shown using the red cross, and the centroid for the gray will be shown using the gray cross. Okay, so see here, likewise the centroid can be calculated. So for red and gray. So next step, reassign each point to the closest cluster centroid. So we have to reassign the points to the closest centroid. So we can see over here the red color, the bottom point which is in red color, which is very closer to the gray centroid. That's why we are assigning that to the gray. Okay. So like this this is the result of that. After that we have to recompute the cluster centroids. Now recomputing the centroid for both the clusters, it will be shown like this. So these steps we have to repeat. We have to repeat these 4 and 5 steps until all the data points comes to that particular centroid. So here this process ends over here, but it may happen that if we are considering the more data points, we have to cluster them into, or we have to separate them into the different clusters, or we have to compute the cluster centroids. Okay, so here no improvement are possible. So similarly we will repeat the 4th and 5th step until we reach global optima, when there will be no further switching of the data points between 2 clusters for 2 successive repeats. So there we have to stop. So it will mark the termination of the algorithm if not explicitly mentioned. Okay, so the k-means algorithm is based on initial condition to decide the number of clusters through the assignment of k initial centroids or means. From how many clusters we required with the k initial clusters that we have to specify initially. Let's consider the simple example with the dummy data set. So here we are importing the data set, that is the blobs with the 1000 samples, and we are considering the 3 clusters we require, and 2 features we are considering, and cluster standard we are considering 1.5. So we expect to have 3 clusters with the bidimensional feature and a partial overlap due to the standard deviation of each blob. Okay, so the resultant plot is shown over here like this with the 3 clusters. So from sklearn cluster import the k-means, we are applying the k-means algorithm on, and we are mentioning the 3 clusters that we are requiring, and we are applying this to the data set. So k-means algorithm, that is auto. So 3 clusters we require. So this is how we have to print the data points of the particular clusters. So replotting the data using 3 different markers. So here we are showing the markers with the 3 different colors. So here k-means successfully separated the data. So k-means can produce good result, but there are several situations when the expected clustering is impossible, and letting k-means find out the centroid can lead to completely wrong solution. So let's consider the case of concrete circles. For example, if we consider the concrete circle, it may happen that it will give the wrong solution. So like this concrete means like this circle. So we get the separation shown in the following figure. As expected, K means coverage on the two centroids in the middle of the two half circles, and the resulting clustering is quite different from what we expected. Moreover, if the sample must be considered different according to the distance from the common center, this result will lead to completely wrong prediction. If we consider two different so it will completely wrong result, it will give like this result. Okay, so this is all about how we can use the k-means clustering algorithm to find out the different clusters and the centroids of that particular clusters.